everyone. I'm Symphony Privet. Thank you for joining us here on Featured. We hope to inspire or simply make you smile with uplifting stories across the country. There's a mission to make road races in Connecticut more inclusive. The person behind the effort has covered lots of ground in the state to make it happen. Digital content producer Leah Myers introduced me to Jean Hoffman, who's racking up a lot of miles by foot, so all runners can participate with pride. In rural Lebanon,
on your mark,
it's another race,
get set,
and another town
go!
For one running club in Connecticut.
Good cause, lots of friends, just getting out here and running.
Jean Hoffman is among hundreds of runners, part of the Run 169 Town Society, which shares a common goal: to run a road race in all 169 towns in Connecticut. But it turns out Hoffman already crossed that finish line.
So I am currently in round 2. So I've done all the towns and now I'm repeating them all.
There's a new challenge and common goal Hoffman has stepped up to.
My goal was to try to get as many races to either have a non-binary option or at least have a prefer not to say, so people were not restricted to the binary of male or female.
Jean identifies as non-binary, which means they don't identify their gender as male or female.
There is no one way to be non-binary. There is no one way to dress, one way to talk. Everyone is individual.
Hoffman said they've enjoyed running as a hobby and social activity for nearly a decade, but hadn't always been able to run as themselves.
I had not really put a name to my identity. I had kind of gone with the mainstream of I was born a female, and so I must check off female.
The Hartford Marathon Foundation then introduced the non-binary division in 2022. After Hoffman signed up in that division for the first time, it forever changed their view of the registration form.
And as I learned more about other, quote, options, and I learned more about myself, I decided that I preferred to be in a non-binary category.
Now, Hoffman wears their identity on their sleeve and head to toe.
It feels good to make a difference and to know that I'm potentially helping future generations be able to participate, be able to feel comfortable with who they are.
The race in Lebanon was organized by a different running event group, O2 Productions. Race director Charlie O'Brias offers opportunities to let various groups shine at each event he presents.
Races that I put on, we always make sure that we give them the option to register as non-binary or prefer not to say.
In O'Brias's experience, adding extra recognitions and awards doesn't take much out of the budget or planning, and he encourages other race directors to follow suit.
It doesn't matter who you are, you should be included. And one of the beautiful things about running is it's such an inclusive community, and I like to put that forward with our races.
Now, the proceeds from that race benefited the nonprofit Bailey's Garden, which creates boundless playgrounds for kids of all abilities. A barber in Washington is dimming the lights and turning down the noise at his shop. Drew Andre tells us why he is creating a new space for clients to feel more comfortable.
I love the sound of the clipper cutting through the hair. I love the sound of the shears cutting hair. It's kind of nice sometimes to be quiet.
Quiet is exactly why clients are coming to see Nick the barber.
We're doing the same thing we usually do.
This is a low sensory room. No small talk, minimal stimulation, calm. Nick Mercer welcomes anyone and all ages in his shop, but people with autism and sensory sensitivities have found a special home here.
When you're in like a big crowd and it gets kind of like overwhelming and you kind of feel like your walls are kind of closing in a little bit, that's kind of how it feels when you walk into a barbershop with a bunch of people and a bunch of sounds. And
Nick entered a whole new world when he decided to pick up the clippers.
I had never even been in a barbershop until I went to barber school. At the time it was pre-transition, so I was living as a female, and female barbers weren't as big of a thing. It was just all men. Yeah, it was intimidating for sure, first going out into these barbershops.
Since then, Nick's worked in bustling barbershops, even cutting hair at Naval Base Kitsap for a decade. But Nick wanted to create something new. He opened the Barber Society.
I really wanted to create a space that was safe for everybody.
The colors on the wall, the decorations, the distractions. It's all with purpose.
Sometimes, just having something else to focus on is important for them.
A novel idea Nick hopes will catch on in Western Washington.
That was Drew Andre reporting. We all know how expensive a short grocery list can become. A police officer in Texas came up with a way to help families save in the checkout line. Janelle Forte shows us how his oath to serve and protect keeps going, even when he's off duty.
He's worn a badge for nearly 2 decades.
I've been a police officer coming up on 18 years.
But off duty, Officer Michael Waldrop is a serial entrepreneur.
This will be my 5th company.
It started with a hot dog cart in his 20s, then came to barbecue joints, and his most successful venture, a donkey beer burros business called Big City Farms.
Now you want to compare.
Now, his latest hustle is a tech-driven solution for a problem everyone's feeling.
We like to say our app is a one-stop shop for grocery savings.
It's called Grocery Deal.
We're going to launch in DFW, Houston, Austin, San Antonio.
Here's how it works. You pick your store, build your cart, then hit compare. The app scans local prices and shows you where you'll save the most.
Our formulas that we've created in our app basically do the magic behind the scenes and then show the user what the total balance is and itemized breakdowns of every single retailer.
On average, his team says users could save up to 20% just by knowing where to shop. And with more grocer options than ever, that kind of transparency matters.
Convenience, location, freshness, price.
For Waldrop, this isn't just a business, it's a continuation of the job he's already sworn to do.
You'll go somewhere and it looks like this family's struggling, and we'll go buy them stuff.
From patrols to price checks, he's serving his community on and off the clock. In Dallas, I'm Janelle Ford.
The turtles are dodging traffic on a road in Minnesota. Danger often lies on their path from fast cars to speeding bikes. But now 2 sisters are tracking where the turtles go to make their journey safer. Audrey Russo explains.
When you can't walk faster than a quarter mile per hour, every street might as well be named Harm's Way.
They're a lot of times like on the curb.
Kelly Olson was fed up with discovering turtles
Kind of in this area right here.
after Danger had found them first.
And they often get hit together since they travel in groups. There was nothing I could do or they could do in that moment except wait for the next car to come to be hit a second time. We're heading to the pond.
She could only walk the roads near her Plymouth home so often.
This is one of my turtle sweeps. If I see a little hatchling turtle, I'll typically take it to water's edge.
Moving turtles in the direction they were already headed put her on a new path.
Really ignited something within me that made me want to advocate.
There we are right here with our marker.
Kelly
Perfect.
and her sister Katie, a software developer,
All self-taught, yeah.
created Turtle Tracker,
Got to create account.
an app that tracks where the animals are most often found in the road.
Got the profile too.
We're encouraging a very simple action. So see a turtle, track a turtle.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Users do that by snapping a picture.
Our platform would automatically recognize the species and store that information. We have how to rescue, how to handle.
A location-driven cyber trail
There it is.
Oh, awesome.
that the experts the sisters consulted with say could lead to very real safety rails.
Our user experience maybe is around 15 seconds.
In order to really lobby or campaign for proper underpasses for road crossing, you have to provide the data.
We're really leaning into the community aspect.
He likes to swim in the air.
Speed is important
Is his shell soft?
It is.
when you need to protect a plotting population.
Have you guys heard about Turtle Tracker yet? We'd love to have you on board.
So where better to spread the word
It's a free community science app. You can track turtles on the road.
than at Turtlefest 2025.
It's been a big hit with the kids.
Wow, that's an awesome turtle story.
Here you are.
It's been really fun hearing people's turtle stories.
We hatched 28 baby snapping turtles.
Oh my gosh.
Hoping all roads can one day point to turtle safety.
There's some cute turtle shirts over there.
Thanks to the community that's leading the way.
60% are endangered and threatened. We are trying to enter the conservation conversation.
Awesome.
Perfect. In a new, bold way.
Thank you so much for supporting us. I'm excited for you guys to see it and get some feedback.
Helping one turtle across the street can have a huge impact.
That was Audrey Russo reporting. Now, this next dental procedure is getting a lot of attention online because of what was on the receiving end. Check it out. A brown bear, oh my goodness, at a Minnesota zoo. It needed a crown, resulting in a first-of-its-kind surgery. The 800-pound animal was given what the zoo is calling the largest dental crown ever made after he hurt his tooth. A company called Creature Crowns made it out of titanium alloy from a wax cast of the bear's chomper. Now, zoo employees say they had to have several staff members in the room just in case the bear woke up during the procedure. Thankfully, it didn't. We have much more for you ahead on Featured. Here's a look at what you can expect. He's 14 years old, and he is already in college. Wow, why the teen says it doesn't take a genius to skip several grade levels. Plus, game on. Adults are revisiting their childhood memories in retro arcades. We hear from the company that's making it all happen. And women are putting on their armor and striking a pose. Ooh, I love those pictures. We'll show you how their strength is being captured in powerful portraits. Welcome back. Now, at just 14 years old, one North Carolina teen is accomplishing extraordinary things. Cal Burgess Hicks, he's already in college and majoring in biology. Manning Franks takes us to the lab where he is spending hours pouring himself into scientific research.
I am working with Dr. Alexander Mosier on circadian biology and determining the regulatory proteins that govern the oscillating 24-hour mechanism called the core clock.
He's pouring himself into his work with long hours of scientific research.
Okay.
Only he'll need someone to drive him to the lab. And how old are you?
I'm 14 years old, and I am a biology major, and I am a senior here at High Point University.
Ever since he was a kid, Cal has always been on the cutting edge.
I started reading when I was around 1 year old, maybe a little less than that.
One may argue he has his education down to a science.
My public school journey was roughly standard until late 2019, where I decided to switch from public school to homeschool. That way I got to learn at my own pace and at my own rate. And, you know, I started getting into algebra, physics, chemistry, biology, just the basics.
Only a few years later, Cal found himself at GTCC before transferring to High Point University in 2023.
You have to be careful about proposing a project idea in front of him because he's going to latch onto it. He's going to want to run and start this new project. He's always interested in starting new things.
Cal's professor, Dr. Moser, continues to be impressed not only by the student's brilliance, but by his determination.
Cal came in wanting to know more about computational biology, and I was very rudimentary in it, especially when it came to Python. He is taken off with looking at how the coding and everything works.
However, Cal doesn't attribute any of his work towards sheer brilliance.
And you don't necessarily even need to be gifted to be good at academics. You just need a good work ethic.
No matter where life takes him next.
I'm hoping to apply for a MD PhD program.
He will always be ready to reinvent the wheel.
But I also like to seek challenges in every corner of my life.
In High Point.
Yes, it's a toxic trait, but still.
I'm Manning Franks.
A high school senior in Oregon is taking his cornhole skills to a higher level. Take a look. Now, Hayden Gonzalez is one of the top young cornhole players in the country. He's a four-time state champ and ranked 4th nationally. And now he's taking his talents to a higher level.
Winthrop's just the best. If you're going to go somewhere to play cornhole, that's where you want to go.
Hayden received a cornhole scholarship. I didn't know they had those. Hey, he's going to play at Winthrop University, which is considered one of the best colleges to play the sport. Congratulations to him. All right, I love this next one. If you grew up in the days of arcades, then you know the excitement that comes with a pocket full of quarters or tokens. Alex Cawley shows us how some venues across the country are looking to the past for entertainment.
Nostalgia never goes out of style.
Skee-Ball is our biggest seller.
Gene Goodman with M&P Amusement is in the nostalgia business.
This one is going to California. This one is South Carolina. This is Washington. This is Texas, Idaho. We ship all over the country.
The company's been around since 1932, and just like the technology that it deals with, it's evolved over time.
We've had several bars and restaurants. We would put jukeboxes in, crane games. games. And back in the early 1980s, the owner, Mike, started getting into mall locations. And he actually built the second largest franchise for arcades. In the late 1990s, early 2000s, malls died. And we started branching out and started selling and refurbishing different types of arcade games.
Spaceship. At places like Decades in Lancaster, people can reconnect with games that were part of their childhood.
The people that grew up in the 80s and 90s were the last true arcade people, and they want to play what they remember playing. So adult arcades have become huge.
But to give these a new life,
JB here's making a new plastic for one of our gun games.
Gene and his team are constantly at work in York to refurbish and resell used as well as new arcade games.
Usually games last about 5-10 years on location. Our refurbishing process takes about 3 to 4 weeks from the time you place the order until it's ready to go out the door. Our employees are very into the games. We have a lot of guys that want to buy the games that they're working on, and we do a lot of play testing.
During the pandemic in 2020, the industry began to see a new trend.
We saw a huge demand for people wanting real-size arcade games in their homes, so game rooms became really big, and now Airbnbs are now putting in full game rooms to entertain their guests while they're there.
So while the games have changed, the end result remains the same.
People want to enjoy themselves.
And the classics, well, they're still classics.
That was Alex Colley reporting. Now, I still like to hit the arcade when I have time, if I come across them. I love the pinball machine, playing Street Fighter, and I am always down for an aggressive game of air hockey. You don't want to see me on the air hockey table. Alrighty, it's time for a quick break now, but first let's check out what's coming up ahead on Featured. You call it a sandwich, but look, this teacher calls it her favorite lesson. What she's doing with peanut butter, jelly, and bread that has her students screaming in disapproval. Plus, a farm store is breaking down barriers and creating community. Why a customer says it's a magical place that has travelers crossing state lines to visit. Alrighty, let's dive into what's trending on social media now. Two professional pianists, they're used to performing for large crowds in Croatia, but it looks like their most loyal fan lives right inside of their home. Oh, look at that cutie. Everyone meet Zlatko. His owners say as soon as they start playing, Zlatko rushes over to the piano to enjoy the music. And the duo says in some cases, he even falls asleep to the vibrating notes while lying on the piano, as we see him there. Now on Instagram, Zlatko's mom shared a few tunes that put him into a deep slumber. And they include the theme song to the sitcom Cheers and Barbie Girl by Aqua. Now it can be a challenge to get kids excited about learning, but not for a teacher in Idaho who taught a memorable and messy lesson about creative writing. Let's take a look here.
First, you must put on the jelly. Wait, I need to put it on? What? Okay, it's on. Am I done? But you told me to put it on.
Oh, how cute is that? You know, sometimes you have to take extreme measures to get your point across to little ones, and that is exactly what second grade teacher Kaylee Sloan did. She asked her class to write instructions on how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And to teach them the importance of details in descriptive writing, she followed their instructions exactly, as we just saw. Sloan said this is her all-time favorite lesson as a teacher. Social media seems to love it too. The video has been viewed more than 54 million times on TikTok so far. Now we've got another food assignment here. These next dishes are so good, people are taking it to the grave. Now, Rosie Grant turned her grad school social media project into a viral platform. While studying cemetery life, she discovered a gravestone that had a cookie recipe on it. Grant then decided to bake it herself. She documented the experience on TikTok, and hey, the rest is history. So far, she's recreated about 45 tombstone recipes from across the country, which she's made into a cookbook called, get this, To Die For. Alrighty, that's a wrap on Trending. Here's what you can expect up next on Featured. Wheels of Opportunity, an auto shop is changing lives one vehicle at a time. How it's setting families on the road to success, plus a small marble that grew into a big impact. We meet the woman who is now looking at them as a symbol of hope. With us here on Featured, I'm Symphony Privet, and we are continuing to bring you some uplifting stories from across the country. A Maryland organization is making a positive impact in hundreds of lives. It all started with one man's idea called Vehicles for Change. Sean Martinelli shows us how families are benefiting in a big way.
At this car service center outside Baltimore, beyond those hard concrete walls, is a story with a soft spot.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Marty Schwartz runs this shop that looks like any other shop, only it's not. These cars won't be sold, they won't be auctioned.
It's just amazing.
Because they're given away to those in need.
You can see their faces light up when we tell them. We're the only program like this in the entire country.
It's called Vehicles for Change. Marty arrived here after a shift in perspective while coaching high school baseball.
And when you coach a lot, I saw a lot of the issues that parents had and just getting kids to and from practice.
What began as a small nonprofit turned into something much bigger. In 26 years, they've given away more than 8,000 cars.
We had a story just recently at a CEO club meeting. A woman sits down at our table. She now owns a very successful business. And at lunchtime, she grabs me. She says, I got to tell you something. I said, what's that? She said, I got a car from you. Doesn't get any better.
But in a way, this story does get better.
Check this coolant right here.
Terrence Grandy is a technician for Vehicles for Change.
I did 5 years.
5 years in prison. He'd been in and out since high school.
Just a lot of factors in my younger life that really led me to make wrong decisions. Life was like, I guess you would say, very difficult. Dad wasn't around. Mom worked all the time.
Vehicles for Change not only gives cars away, it gives people like Terrence another chance. Here, Terrence got mechanic training and a full-time job.
People that live in poverty, people that are incarcerated, they're not that way because they want to be. They just need opportunities.
And when you get one of those opportunities,
it makes me feel a whole lot up here. I'm not gonna lie.
We asked Terrence what this meant, the chance to help those in situations all too familiar to him. You can see the impact in his eyes, what it means for him now, what it means for his future.
The sky's not the limit. Don't limit your level of success, you know? Reach for the galaxies.
Even if he misses, he'll land among the cars.
That was Sean Martinelli reporting. A North Texas man attempted to lift 63 tons to help others, but as Sean Giggy explains, he's been carrying a heavier weight for almost 5 decades now, and he's turning one of his darkest moments into something incredibly powerful.
Mike Smith has lifted a lot of heavy things. But nothing here at the Frisco Athletic Center compares to the weight he's carried for 46 years.
When I was 17,
Nearly 5 decades have passed, and it's still hard to talk about. In the late 70s, Mike, there on the right, and his brother, on the left, were working at a truck stop in Michigan. It was late. They were about to close, and it happened.
I had it coming right in my face. And we laid down, they made us lay down, wrapped towels around our heads, and they taped our hands behind our back.
Gun to his head, Mike knew what was about to happen. At the time, there'd been a string of robberies throughout the area, and all of them ended in murder. All of them. Except this one.
The detectives told us, they said, we don't know why, they've killed everybody else. And so I always felt like I've been living on borrowed time a little bit, like I've been given a gift.
Right then and there, Mike promised to make the most of his second chance.
And
which is why, when a man recently spoke at his church about paying it forward, Mike paid a visit to the gym.
I was gonna lift up others through lifting a bunch of weight.
To raise money for a nonprofit called Compassion International, last month, Mike attempted to lift 63 tons of weight in 63 minutes on his 63rd birthday. Each repetition counted toward his total.
Way to go, Mike.
With his wife cheering him on, Mike reached his goal with time to spare.
How you feeling?
Toast.
And although he hasn't hit his fundraising goal, Mike says he has kept his promise.
I just want to have an opportunity to help other people.
When you look back, do you think that 17-year-old kid would be proud?
Yes. That kid is still inside of me.
Even in his darkest moment, Mike Smith understood that real strength isn't about living. It's about living for others. In Frisco, I'm Sean Giggy.
It's a snapshot of strength and beauty in Oregon, the photographer empowering women with a similar battle as her. Tim Gordon explains how she's taking portraits of them to help them find the warrior within.
Wow.
At the Hillsborough Public Library,
My goodness.
There's something special on display.
Mind-blowing.
An art exhibit that draws you in.
This is some great artwork, and it's amazing how these are like real people. Boy, this is an amazing one here.
Danny Mosley sees a lot in this portrait.
It's amazing how creative people can get in their artwork. And
this one.
A flying angel or something.
And this one.
My goodness.
All with something in common.
Every one of these women have breast cancer, huh? Wow.
Oh, look.
And for Rebecca.
She's looking at you. Yeah?
Here with her young son.
Yeah.
The photos touch her heart.
My mom passed away of stage 4 liver and lung cancer. Both my grandmothers had breast cancer and had to have mastectomies. I think that fighting cancer, it puts you in a warrior mind frame.
I knew I had something here. There you go.
The Warrior Women portraits,
Yeah.
taken by Danielle Rogers.
Love it. I mean, look at that.
It's as much about the process
There's one pose I want to do for you.
as the portraits themselves.
Perfect.
Well, I've known Danielle for a couple years now. I mean, our diagnosis was a month apart.
There you go. I don't create the strength. I don't create the beauty. I showcase it. So it's already there. I love you. I love you too.
Open to the public, with women in the breast cancer community here to support
Oh my gosh. I know. Your hair looks beautiful.
It's growing.
and see their portraits on the wall.
This is Cassie. I got to do her makeup when we were in San Francisco. Yeah.
Wendy's here, recalling what it's like to be vulnerable while building power through the portraits.
There's no ego in any of this. It's power and strength and resilience, and it's just pretty damn remarkable.
I love how the light hits Wendy, like her face. You couldn't have been like any more postured, like strength, like right, and just being like, this is how it is.
Empowering.
I just finished radiation when you did that.
Yeah.
But how it is
It's just like what we have to do, right? We just have
is so often not easy.
And, everyone tells you you're a warrior and you're a fighter when you're going through cancer, but you don't really have a choice. You just
Sarah says you're just trying to survive.
And so to have an opportunity to be strong on purpose,
right,
and not in treatment was a really powerful experience for me.
Amy fought off breast cancer only to have colon cancer take her life just a few months ago.
She passed away this April. And her picture is up on the wall. And she looks so strong in it.
Daughter Lucy came to see her mom's strength, a warrior's moment captured in time.
It's nice to see her, but it's hard too. So, I'm glad she got to take the photo before she was gone.
So I wanted to come over and see how you're doing.
It's all part of the complexity of life.
Yeah.
Especially dealing with a disease that so often shows no mercy.
Yeah, 100%.
For Danielle, it has shown some mercy for
I was
now.
just telling the news.
A new medication seems to have worked, clearing out most of her cancer. What's next?
We're just going to keep on.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But this is a good night.
Major success. I mean, it was all right. Like I told everybody, I was having a great hair day.
Wow, what a powerful exhibit. That was a great story from Tim Gordon. Ready now, let's get a taste of love and unity on a farm in Connecticut. Nothing brings people together like food. Now, just think of, that turkey at Thanksgiving or maybe wings and pizza at Super Bowl parties. Stephen Reels takes us to a store that is attracting customers near and far to sit down and eat.
The sounds of birds mixed in with bakers. That'll take you deep into the woods of Connecticut, where only one question remains.
What do we want?
Sweet or savory?
I'm going to do a piece of the bacon onion quiche.
You really can't go wrong at Julian's Farm Store.
We're going to get you that one.
Husbands Christopher and Julian have steered this ship since 2023. The two originally met in London, where they fell in love, and later moved here to Granby, to the same farm that Christopher worked at back in 1999.
I don't even know that there was an expectation. I think it was a little bit of a dream and a little bit of a let's see what happens.
I started making a few baked goods like cinnamon rolls and donuts, and then people's response was immediate and amazing. So yeah, it became increasingly busier, and here we are.
Long lines and laughter continue into the vegetable garden outside that Julian manages himself. Collected around tables, big and small, a community was built in what almost appears to be something out of a storybook.
This to me feels like a magical little pocket of Connecticut where you really can't find anything else like it.
We have a lot to be grateful for in Granby, but Julian's is right at the top of that list. People come not just from all across Granby, but from across the region, from across the state. We're very, very proud of these guys.
It's a pride that has welcomed the couple in with open arms, from customers with a variety of beliefs. And especially in a time of divisive political turnover, Christopher and Julian say they refuse to let fear rule how they operate.
We got 6.
Because this farm store is proof that living authentically is a testament to what you can bring to your community.
This is very much of this place, as are we. Food is a way of bringing people together and not even talking about it, not leading with politics.
Well, everybody's been here, like Republicans, Democrats.
Yeah, they're all here.
The whole spectrum. These are the kind of people who walk through this door, and everybody's just being amazing.
I think when everybody at the same time is eating this food and enjoying and receiving this love, really, that's a powerful thing.
In Granby, Connecticut, Stephen Reels for Featured.
Alrighty, don't go too far. We are taking a short break, but here's a quick look at what's coming up ahead. A moment lost in time, remarkably remembered on ice. How a man proves Alzheimer's can't fade all memories. Plus, a woman's marble collection built from love and support. How the community came together to help her during a difficult time. Welcome back. Let's start off with a story about memory, friendship, and ice that never quite let go. Alzheimer's stole precious memories away from a former prosecutor in Minnesota, but as Brooke Hosh explains, a pair of skates brought a special moment back to him.
Before the glide.
Let's get his skates on first.
Before the goals.
Okay, Bruce, let's do this one. There you go.
It starts like this.
You mean work on that one?
I'll just loosen it up a little more.
For Bruce Niemi, this day is anything but ordinary.
Okay, Bruce, lift your arm. There you go, dude. All right.
He's been on the ice most of his life.
You get the addiction as a little kid, and it just takes over.
From frozen ponds in Michigan to playing for the Louisville Blades.
I played for Columbus, Ohio. Bruce played for Louisville, and we had an intense rivalry. So I remember Bruce being a formidable opponent.
But a few years ago, Alzheimer's started to take its toll. Bruce was forced to shut down his practice as a part-time prosecutor when simple tasks became puzzles.
I can say, can you hand me that fork? And he doesn't know what I mean. Can you take out the trash? And he doesn't understand.
Then just a couple months ago, Bruce's longtime friends Steve Eckerson and Rick Burns had an idea: get him back on the ice.
We weren't sure if he could take a step out there and fall, crash into the boards.
I was a little nervous because, well, more than a little.
Almost game time. Let's go.
We get out here, and I was so worried.
And then something happened.
Where are we going? Straight ahead.
Bruce gets up, and he just starts gliding away and skating and maneuvering the hockey stick like it was just, the last time he played was just like 10 years ago.
In a mind clouded by confusion, something broke through.
And we both had tears in our eyes.
Something that remembered.
Feeling the ice under your blades, hearing the sound.
For a few precious moments,
it all comes back.
Bruce wasn't a patient. He wasn't lost. He was just a man with a hockey stick chasing a puck, feeling the cold air and the rush of his past.
Nice hit.
I mean, compared to what Bruce used to be, it's a sliver, but he's out there, he's catching and receiving passes, he's putting heat on his passes. It was really pretty amazing to see.
The joy that he was having that he doesn't have anymore, really. This is the only thing that can really bring a good smile to him. Let's go. The energy that he's giving into it is just tremendous. So finally he's able to do something that he is passionate and loves. It's almost a miracle to me that it's happening.
It's a small window, but inside it lives something powerful: connection, joy, and the echoes of a game that still knows his name.
After all these years, it's come back.
A reminder that while memories may fade,
man, that was awesome.
Beautiful moments are still possible.
That was Brooke Hosh reporting. A call for support from the hospital led to a marble collection for one patient in Tennessee. Years later, the shiny object took on a life of its own. And as Sarah Oppman explains, the marbles represent hope.
Sometimes it's the little things that bring us the most joy.
Family.
And for Katie Irwin,
get ready to be amazed about my collection.
Her little things are marbles.
Want to know how many I think I have at home?
Thousands of them.
Over 30,000.
But it isn't just a collection.
Okay, here we go.
For Katie and her family, it's therapy, it's community, and it's hope in tangible form.
Katie is a Group B strep meningitis survivor. She started having some issues in school, and of course, immediately we always look, is this a shunt issue? And so it was.
When Katie was hospitalized, her dad took to Facebook to ask for prayers. They received that and a whole lot more.
We need you to pray for Katie. And somebody said, does she collect anything?
Boxes upon boxes of marbles shipped from all over the world arrived at her doorstep.
They just kept on coming. Like, I even got German marbles from Germany.
From friends, family, and strangers alike, all sending joy packed in glass and color.
It's kind of just become her thing. And then she shares that joy to everybody she meets.
Years later, Katie still runs her fingers through her collection.
Every time I play with them, it feels like therapy to me.
The textures, the colors, the sound, a sense of calm in her hands.
They feel really cool on my hands.
Katie's marbles may be small, but the light she shines through them is anything but.
They're still light, and that lives within Katie.
That was Sarah Oppman reporting. We'll be right back with more Featured. Still ahead, a sequence of moves are on repeat. We'll show you how the love for line dancing is growing. And we hear from a couple who says it's good for business. Welcome back. Line dancing is a pretty big thing now, thanks to social media platforms and the popularity of songs like Boots on the Ground. You may find more people wanting to learn a little two-step. Megan Western introduces us to a dancing duo who are seeing packed rooms of those eager to learn their moves.
If you've been on social media lately or still listen to the radio, you might know the trend that's got these feet dancing.
With the Southern Soul movement coming through, the biggest song in the nation, the country right now, Boots on the Ground.
Gerard and Shantae Porter are the dynamic duo behind N5678 Line Dance.
It was something I had never really done before outside of the Cupid Shuffle, and the mainstream was that most people know it and do at the weddings. I became to fall in love with it just as much as she did.
He says stepping to good music is key.
We do urban, soul, R&B, some pop, some disco, a little bit of everything.
But recently, one song has been the driver for lessons and attendance.
And as my husband said, that Boots on the Ground hit.
Putting more feet in their class. This is a lesson from a year ago.
15 people was like a lot of people in class for us. Now it's to the point where we may get about 40 to 45 students.
Changing the landscape of line dancing.
It's not just in the South now, it's starting to just spread everywhere.
While juggling an uptick in local classes, they're busy with national and worldwide ventures too.
A lot of times when people find out we are from the South, they're like, oh, I know y'all can do it. I know y'all can get down with it and whatnot.
Yep, this trend has pushed a wave of changes, but if you're already tired of it, no worries. Shantae has hundreds of dances in her dance bag to numerous genres.
It doesn't matter what song comes on, I'm going to be extra and give you a lot of energy.
That was Megan Western reporting. Now, the couple also teaches line dancing to more than 600,000 followers across their social media platforms. I might need to check them out because I'm not good at it. I can't do it. All right, let's keep the music going in Texas now, where a web designer is proving you don't have to give up on your passion. You can just do it on the side. Patrick James says he started playing guitar at a young age, and right now he performs on evenings and weekends. While he doesn't make enough to do it full time, he says for him it is not about the money.
I wouldn't say I'm the best or the greatest at it, but it brings me joy, and I like to think that it also brings other people joy. It's pretty powerful, man.
All right, now a good example. If you need proof of just how powerful music can really be, hit Google, search the Beatles icon, Michael Jackson, another icon, and I might get some heat for this one, but my fave, Beyonce, she is an icon. I said what I said. Alrighty, that's it for Featured. I hope you found something to make you smile today. Until next time, make it a great one.